Welcome, seekers of the truth, to the Magical Services channel. So, this is going to be a most supreme career horoscope for the general collective for the time when the moon is in Leo. And that's going to be starting this day. I know right now we're still technically with the moon in Cancer, but the moon's going to be going into Leo today on July 14th around 10 p.m. Universal Time. And it'll remain there until July 16th around 11 p.m. Universal Time. So for that time frame is what this reading is about as far as career goes. So the lunar ingress into the sovereign fiery realm of Leo catalyzes a definitive and highly visible shift in collective professional momentum, forcefully moving the corporate psyche from chaos, defensive posturing into a phase of a bold, unapologetic, strategic assertion. This is not a temporal window for quiet backroom negotiations, anonymous contributions, or tentative market testing. It is a period where professional reputation, personal branding, and authoritative presence become the primary non-negotiable currencies of career advancement and market dominance. Hearts and minds in the executive hearts and minds in the executive suite are driven by a primal, almost theatrical urge to be recognized as visionary leaders, transforming routine operational updates into dramatic, high-stakes declarations of future intent. However, this radiant, outwardly confident push is immediately and severely complicated by the retrograde motion of Mercury dwelling in the sensitive protective waters of Cancer. Economic intelligence gathering is currently clouded by internal miscommunications, delayed feedback loops, and a collective, almost pathological and a collective with a pathological tendency to revisit outdated operational models rather than forging genuinely new innovative paths. Leaders will find that directives issued with leonine confidence and sweeping authority are frequently misinterpreted, diluted, or actively stalled by middle management clinging to legacy protocols, historical precedents, and emotional attachments to failing projects. Strategic timing absolutely dictates that major contract signings, public pivots, or high-stakes negotiations be deliberately delayed, as the fine print is highly likely to harbor unresolved vulnerabilities, hidden liabilities, or emotional baggage from previous fiscal quarters that have not been adequately addressed. The foundational architecture of the broader market is simultaneously undergoing a ruthless, uncompromising stress test, dictated by the heavy, restrictive presence of Saturn in Aries. This placement demands aggressive, disciplined restructuring, forcing our organizations to surgically strip away bloated, inefficient divisions and confront the brutal, unvarnished realities of their core competencies. This necessary contraction is dangerously compounded by Neptune's retrograde dissolution of corporate illusions, actively exposing vague, overly optimistic projections, inflated valuations, and leadership narratives that lack tangible, measurable backing. Any enterprise, startup, or established corporation relying on market hype, speculative bubbles, or charismatic storytelling rather than rigorous data-driven deliverables will face sudden, corrective, and potentially devastating market forces. Uranus in Gemini accelerates this disruptive environment by introducing unpredictable, unconventional technological pivots and communication breakthroughs that render traditional top-down corporate hierarchies obsolete almost overnight, demanding radical, immediate adaptability from all sectors, particularly in technology, media, and decentralized finance. On the daily execution front, Mars in Gemini drives a frantic, highly scattered, multitasking energy across global markets, heavily favoring rapid intellectual maneuvering, short-term tactical wins, and aggressive networking over long-term strategic endurance. This frenetic execution is kept in strict, necessary check only by the analytical, meticulous presence of Venus in Virgo, which imposes a forensic, almost ruthless audit of all resource allocation, budget approvals, and partnership valuations. Business mergers, acquisitions, and vendor contracts will be scrutinized down to the absolute decimal point, and any proposal lacking rigorous empirical justification will be swiftly and coldly rejected by a hypervigilant, risk-averse market. The inherent friction between Mars's desperate desire for rapid speed and Venus's uncompromising demand for operational perfection will inevitably create severe bottlenecks in project management and supply chains, requiring leaders to enforce strict, unyielding workflows to prevent total operational paralysis. Beneath the surface of these daily tactical battles, Pluto's retrograde motion in Aquarius continues to systematically dismantle archaic power struggles within collective labor dynamics, institutional networks, and industry-wide coalitions. There is a profound, irreversible, and deeply transformative shift in who holds actual leverage, with decentralized teams, specialized knowledge workers, and grassroots labor movements demanding unprecedented autonomy, transparent compensation, and equitable decision-making power. This structural rebellion is powerfully amplified by Black Moon Lilith's retrograding motion through the late degrees of Capricorn and into Sagittarius, igniting a fierce, underlying, and largely unspoken insurgency against restrictive corporate hierarchies, micromanagement, and toxic professional cultures. Employees, contractors, and even mid-level leaders are quietly but decisively severing ties with institutions that demand absolute loyalty and sacrifice without offering genuine professional growth, ethical alignment, or reciprocal respect. The saving grace for bold, innovative initiatives during this volatile window lies in Jupiter's expansive presence in Leo, which magnifies the potential for visionary, magnanimous leadership and lucrative market breakthroughs. Those rare executives and entrepreneurs who can successfully synthesize the fiery, undeniable confidence of the Leo moon with Jupiter's broad strategic foresight will successfully navigate this chaotic period, turning severe market disruptions into highly profitable dominant monopolies. However, this expansive Jupiterian energy carries the inherent ever-present risk of catastrophic overextension, hubris, and blind spots regarding operational realities. The predictive directional outcome for this specific transit is a sharp, unforgiving bifurcation in the professional landscape. Organizations and individuals who can ground their bold visionary leaps in meticulous Virgo-level execution, while simultaneously adapting to the decentralized, transparent power shifts demanded by Pluto, will emerge as the dominant, resilient, and highly rewarded market leaders of the next cycle. Conversely, those who rely solely on superficial charismatic authority, willfully ignore the retrograde warnings of Mercury, or fail to adapt to the new non-negotiable demands of an empowered workforce, will experience rapid, humiliating, and largely irreversible declines in influence, revenue, and market share. The ultimate professional victory belongs exclusively to those who can project unwavering, radiant confidence to the public while quietly maintaining absolute forensic and disciplined control over their internal operational realities, ensuring that every bold claim is backed by unassailable, tangible results, thereby securing long-term institutional legacy and personal professional sovereignty in an increasingly volatile global economy. This transit demands nothing less than total alignment between outward ambition and internal structural integrity. So that is what I had for you today, collective. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video, comment this video, share this video, or hype this video. Or subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, or hype our channel by letting your friends and acquaintances who would benefit from it know about it. All those acts would be great and greatly appreciated. Now, there's a magical service being offered in the description box. Feel free to check it out. It could be indeed quite very useful. And I thank you so much for being part of our network, being part of our circle, being part of our tribe, and supporting our channel. And so stay in tune with the channel to get the next sign readings for when the moon moves signs. Until then, thank you very much for your presence and blessings.